And but just try to follow along. I know, excuse me, I know Sam said that they are following along, and I know Gray is going to follow along and watch the YouTube videos later. So the point is, I'm trying to get at is pay some kind of attention. I know it's obnoxious. I'll tell you guys, I was going to make it a surprise, but I'm going to be back on Friday. So we will be back to our normal routine on Friday, just in time for SAT prep day. So we'll continue with our packets and everything. Thank you, Angie, for your enthusiasm. All right, so today we're going to be talking about solving absolute value equations, which we kind of already did. We kind of already started doing that, but now we're just going to look at a little bit more in depth. So the first thing that we're talking about, and it's our first vocabulary word, I didn't bother erasing it from first period, is a disjunction, right? Does anyone know disjunction, what it means? Like the regular word? Anyone? Okay, so it's kind of like a missing piece between two, how do I want to say this? Like a lack of consistency. There's some kind of two different things that they're missing something in the middle, and so on and so forth. So if we remember when I showed you guys the absolute value, the piecewise function, right? Remember that I said a piecewise function is, let me write this before I'm talking because otherwise I forget. Piecewise function is I have a specific value that matches with a specific equation, okay? That's what's going on here in that absolute value. If my value, you guys are still seeing my screen, right? Okay, because it just popped up and said, you're not sharing your screen. And now I'm concerned. So, yeah, it's not working. It froze up again. Apparently my internet at my house is not working as well. So give me one moment. All right, so if I were to solve it using the way that I showed you guys, that's taking the equation and making the equation negative, or I do it the book's way and actually make the answer itself negative, I still get the same answer, okay? It's the same work, same stuff, it's just changing where you put the negative, okay? Now, that being said, there are situations, I'm gonna do it on another page. Now I have to erase this, but I have to write this down. So I'm gonna write it over here. Spoiler, you have homework. I know you guys haven't had homework in forever. So page 16. Okay. Now there are two situations. So once I have this erased, there we go. Situations when absolute value has fewer than two solutions, right? So in our first example, we had two solutions, 8 and 2, okay? There are two situations. The first one is when the absolute value equals a, I'll actually write equals a negative number. And the second one is when the absolute value equals 0. Okay, so those are your two situations. So for situation number one, I'm going to have -5 x plus 1 plus 2 equals 12. Okay, so now I'm going to prove that first situation by showing you guys there will be no solutions. Or this one has no solutions. The other one has only one solution. I'll show you that as well. So once again, I subtract 2 to both sides. My first goal is to move everything on the opposite side of the equal away from the absolute value, just like I would if I had parentheses. So 12 minus 2 is just 10. Every time there's a delay, I get worried that I'm going to get kicked out. So I'm then going to divide by -5. What's 10 divided by -5?
-2.
It is equal to -2. Now, can my absolute value ever equal a negative number? No, absolute value is always positive, it's distance. So in this case, no solutions. It's easy for you guys. You don't even have to keep trying. Once you get that this is equal to a negative number, you're done. You just write no solutions, done. And that's it. That's all you're looking for. So for the second situation, it's going to be 3/5 2x minus 4 minus 3 equals -3. So once again, I'm moving everything over to one side. So I start by adding 3. That gives me 3/5 2x minus 4 is equal to 0, right? -3 plus 3 is going to give me 0. Now I need to get rid of my 3/5, so I multiply by what? What is it called?
Reciprocal.
By reciprocal, which is just 5/3. Okay, that's going to make that easy. And anything times 0 equals what?
0.
0. So I'm left with 2x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and solve this. I'm going to do it both ways again. I'm going to do the 2x minus 4 equals 0 and -2x minus 4 equals 0. And I'm also going to do over here the 2x minus 4 equals 0. There's no positive or negative value for it, right? There's only 0. 0 is neither negative or positive, so you just solve it one time, okay? But I'm going to show you both ways, right? Because it works. It works either way. So solving my one equation, I add 4 to both sides. 2x equals 4. Divide by 2. And that gives me x is equal to 2. Okay? Yes, we understand that part? Simple enough. That's only one solution, right? 2. Now, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do mine, which this first one ends up being the same thing. Add the 4 to both sides. Divide by 2. That one's pretty obvious to get the same answer. X equals 2. So far, so good. But now let's look at my -1. So this becomes a -2x plus 4 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 4 to both sides. I need to move my homework because I'm running out. There, that's better. So that leaves me with -2x equals -4. I divide by -2. So -4 divided by 2 by -2 gives me what?
2.
2. These are the same answers, yes? I don't have to write x equals 2 and x equals 2. I can just write x equals 2 and call it a day. That's one solution, really. It's not two separate ones. They're both the same answer, okay? So that's when you have less than two solutions. So if it's equal to 0, you're only going to have one solution. If it equals a negative, none. And if it's a regular positive number like we did over here, it's going to have the regular two solutions, okay? Are there any questions on this? No, we're good? Okay, because that's the end of the notes. It's very short. I told you it was very short today. So I also feel like you guys don't ask as many questions when I'm not there. And that's fine. We're gonna have to do some kind of crash course just for the past 2 lessons, just to make sure that we're on the same page. But your homework, so now you have time to finish those Khan Academies, so you don't have to worry about it when you get home tonight. Remember, those are due by midnight today, okay? 1 through 16 even. Online, it's page 60. I don't know in your book. I don't have your book near me, so I don't know for sure. But this is 2.2, module 2, lesson 2 in your book. So if you wanted to find it in your actual book, that's how you would do it. Otherwise, you guys can work on homework, work on Khan Academies. I'm going to be here if you have any questions for me.